Tonight's big story breakdown is the crisis in the classroom. It comes as we're learning more about an alleged incident first reported by the Oklahoman involving nude women on a TV screen in State Superintendent Ryan Walters' office last week. This is said to have happened during an executive session of the State Board of Education meeting. As Fox 25's Paige Taylor explains, the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office is now confirming their agency will be in charge of investigating this alleged incident.
The Oklahoman first reported two members of the State Board of Education, Becky Carson and Ryan Dethridge, claim they saw nude images of women on a television screen in State Superintendent Ryan Walters' office. They say it happened during executive session of Thursday's State Board of Education meeting. Walters released a new statement on Sunday saying in part, quote, "Any suggestion that a device of mine was used to stream inappropriate content on the television set is categorically false. I have no knowledge of what was on the TV screen during the alleged incident, and there's absolutely no truth to any implication of wrongdoing." The two board members who say they saw the images on the TV were appointed by Governor Stitt earlier this year. In a statement, Stitt says, quote, "I trust and appreciate my board members. They are volunteers who are sacrificing their time to serve Oklahoma students. Should these allegations be true, all I can say is that I am profoundly disappointed." Republican leadership at the state capitol have responded to the alleged incident. The Senate Pro Tem calling the situation bizarre and troubling. The House Speaker saying Walters should fully cooperate with an investigation and unlock and turn over all relevant devices. Former Republican State Representative Mark McBride says if he was still in office, he would have pushed for an investigation led by the state legislature due to the allegations, plus the state recently ranking 50th in the nation for education.
Maybe it was him, maybe it wasn't him. I don't know who it was, but that was on his TV. Those board members would not lie about that. And it's just up to find, we need to find out who or what. They need to confiscate all of his devices. And the way I understand it, not just anybody can enter into his office.
Paige Taylor, Fox 25 News.
This isn't the first time state leaders have raised concerns about the state superintendent. 2 years ago, several lawmakers on both sides of the aisle told us Walters emailed them pornographic material, claiming it was available in our schools. Now, former Rep. Mark McBride said he received about 10 pornographic images without any context about which schools had this material. State Rep. Andy Fugate also raised questions about why Walters would send this type of content.
Don't just send me a bunch of graphic, sexually explicit photos without where it came from or what did they do. That's kind of the problem I've got with it.
HR will tell you never to send something of a sexual nature of any kind by email to other employees outside your own company. It doesn't matter. And so from my perspective, that also calls into question his leadership abilities.
The State Department of Education said at the time they supplied lawmakers with what they requested. It took lawmakers more than a month to get Superintendent Walters to appear before a House committee to answer their questions. However, lawmakers said he still did not have the information on the complaints about pornographic content in specific schools on hand. Oklahoma school system ranking 50th in the nation in a new Wallet Hub study. It compared all 50 states and the District of Columbia across two key dimensions, quality and safety. Those dimensions were evaluated using 32 metrics, including performance, funding, class size, and instructor credentials. States could receive up to 80 points. Take a look. Massachusetts was rated the best for public schools in the quality ranking with a score of 74.34, scoring over 7 points ahead of the second highest ranking state, Connecticut. Oklahoma's quality score was 32.62. Ahead of New Mexico by just 2 points. State Superintendent Ryan Walters was asked about the results of this study during last week's State Board of Education meeting, and here is how he responded.
They love to take into account how much money we put in education. That's never been an evaluation of mine of what makes a good education system. It's outcomes. It's driving students to a career. So that's what we continue to focus on.
Wallet Hub study also looked at spending rankings, which is based on total current expenditures for public elementary and secondary schools per student. Oklahoma ranked 49th as a, quote, low spending, weak school system. As the back-to-school shopping season picks up, consumers say they're curbing their spending on school supplies, new wardrobes, and tech. A new survey from Deloitte found the economic uncertainty, along with higher prices on just about everything, has consumers cutting back, with plans to spend an average of $570 per child, which is down 7% year over year. But as parents tighten their wallets, they're also getting more creative in finding ways to save.
Consumers are trying to get ahead of any potential price increases by shopping a little early, particularly for key items like apparel, electronics, and dorm furnishings.
We're finding increased usage of first social media. This is the first year we're seeing a meaningful increase in the use of generative AI tools to support back to school shopping.
More than 2/3 of shoppers have already started picking up items. This is a record high, up from 55% around this time last year. And don't forget, Oklahoma's sales tax holiday begins this Friday, runs through the weekend. This will give you a chance to save on some clothing and shoes priced under $100. 529 savings plans can now cover a wider set of expenses for K-12 education. A provision of the Big Beautiful Bill expanded the definition of qualified expenses. Prior to the change, 529 plans could be used for up to $10,000 per year in K-12 education tuition, or higher education expenses like tuition, fees, and books. According to NerdWallet, the expansion now allows these accounts to be used to cover the cost of curricular materials and online educational material. It can also cover testing fees for standardized tests like the ACT and SAT, along with dual enrollment fees for high school students taking college courses. Increasing tuition costs will be weighing on many families' budgets this fall. As Melanie Hastings with our sister station in D.C. explains, if your student has already accepted a financial aid offer, you can still negotiate for more.
Most college-bound students have known since May 1st where they're going to go this fall, and that's also when they found out how much financial aid they may be receiving. But those offers are not written in stone. You can apply for more aid, but time is of the essence.
The first step is to first figure out how you're going to rationalize why you need more funds.
Now, this could be due to unusually high medical bills or a recent job loss. You'll need to document the change in need and write a short letter describing how your circumstances have changed. Then you'll want to follow through as quickly as possible and get that information in. Sometimes a competing offer from another school can be a great negotiating tool.
Sometimes what you can do is you can say, this other school offered me X amount, and that's more than what you're offering me. Now, there's no guarantee that they will give you more, but if you don't ask, you'll never know.
That was Melanie Hastings reporting. Scholarships can run from a couple $100s up to thousands of dollars. Experts say private institutions typically have more money to give and more flexibility in awarding funds. Students who are the most proactive in applying are the ones who typically win these scholarship dollars. And that was your Big Story Breakdown. You can find all of our Crisis in the Classroom reports on OKCFox.com. Plus, check out our previous Big Story Breakdowns on our YouTube page. Scan the QR code on your screen or search OKC Fox.